Hey everyone, and welcome to the NintendoFuse Podcast. This is episode 227, entitled April Fools and E3 Pivots. We're going to be talking a lot about our April Fools, some of the best. There wasn't so many great April Fool's jokes this year, but there were some, and we're going to talk about our favorites. We're also going to talk about E3's return and how they've pivoted to go online. Nintendo is back at E3. Also talk about some updates with Super Nintendo World, Mario Kart Ride, and a whole bunch more other news that we're going to be talking about in this episode. But my name is Steve, and I am not here alone, of course. I am also joined by Barry. Hey, Barry, how's it going?
Hey, Steve. Always a pleasure.
And also, of course, joined by Greg. Hey, Greg.
Hi, everyone. Always great to be on.
Yeah, and we're also joined by our live chat room. So if you are joining us live, be sure to, first of all, say hello. And then also anything that we talk about during this live podcast, feel free to let us know what your thoughts are. We're going to be talking really soon about what we have been playing, and then also all of the news, all of the April Fool's stuff. So if there was a specific April Fool's joke that you really liked this year, let us know in the live chat. If you're watching after the fact, be sure to let us know in the comments any of your thoughts about any of the stuff that we're talking about tonight. We would love for to hear what you have to say as well. But we're going to be referring to our live chat throughout the show, so it's kind of like that fourth member of our podcast team. So if you've never joined us live, be sure to do that. If you're listening after the fact on a podcast app or website, be sure to subscribe there as well as here on YouTube. Hit that bell to be alerted every time we post a new video, every time we go live, and also be sure to follow us on social media. We're at NintendoFuse on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We'd love to have you guys join us there. And also be sure to join our Discord so you can chat in between the episodes about Nintendo, video games, and so much more. You'll see the link there on the screen, but it's also going to be on our show notes and in the YouTube description down below here on YouTube. So yeah, if you never checked us out live, like I said, be sure to do that. If you've never watched the video version, you can find that at youtube.com/NintendoFuse. And yeah, I think that's all that stuff out of the way. Let's get into what we have been playing. Barry, what have you been up to over this last week?
I wish I could say, hey, this last week I've played a ton of games, but my week is going to sound very similar to last week. On the Switch front, I've really just done Animal Crossing, logged in to get the prom stuff and different color sashes that are there every day. And I did actually redesign a little portion of my island. I had a little seasonal area. Now I made it my own little, Super Nintendo world out of some of the Mario stuff, which unfortunately creates a lot of pop-up and lag. Thank you, Nintendo. Who knew Animal Crossing would lag this bad? But yeah, it was fun to go back and just redesign an area. I haven't done that in a while. And, it's one of the things when you have your island the way you want it, you lose that creative spark. Like I wish I had I said this another time, like a second island or something like that, and to go over and do some more creativity. But I'm still doing that and just doing daily stuff. I said last week that I was aiming to beat on the PlayStation 4 Tokyo Xanadu EX Plus by this podcast, and I am in chapter 7, which is the next to last chapter. So okay. I am close. But I did not have enough time to beat it. The game just gets better, though. I love Falcom stuff, and I really don't see why this can't come to Switch. I really think it should come to Switch, considering the PS4 version is a port of the Vita version. So there's absolutely no reason that it wouldn't run on Switch. But yeah, if you've ever played Falcom games, it's a mixture of Legend of Heroes and the Ys games. Just really well done, really cool characters, and just. It sucked me in, so whenever I do have some time to play, that's what I choose to do. On the PC front, haven't really logged into 14 that much. Next week, there's a new update, waiting for the next patch. That will probably pull me back in, but it's been a little bit of a lull right now. But I did actually play another game on PC briefly called John the Zombie. This is an interesting game. This is think like Grand Theft Auto style, but you are a zombie and you have to eat people, and when you eat their brains, you gain their skills. So you eat enough people who know how to drive a car, you can now just drive in a car, and you eat enough people who know how to ride a bike, and now you can ride a bike, and like there's all like stats and skills and a whole storyline. And it's like 3D. It's like running around. It's not like uber graphics, like maybe original Xbox. But it's fun. It's just a weird game, but it's fun. And on the mobile front, I'm still, doing Dragalia Lost and Mario Kart Tour. But I do have something actually to show off, which is a follow-up actually from last week that I do want to show here quickly as a nice, cool exclusive thing. We just actually released this today, and because we just released this today, not everybody's seen this yet, and I figured it'd be cool to show it off here. As again, for those that don't know, I do also work for Premium Edition Games, and we did just put out our first 2 releases, which I did show off last time. Well, one of the releases, which is the Pigeon Dev Games Collection, we don't have the higher end games out. We have the Premium Edition, which is purchasable right now, but we do have 2 other models, Retro and a Deluxe, and we are awaiting the last bits to arrive at our warehouse to send it out. But I do have 2 of the items that are going to be included that I wanted to just briefly show off for you guys, so you can see. If you seeing a picture is one thing, see it on a website, but to see a physical item, it's different. So the first thing, this is included only in the Deluxe, which is a pin. It's an enamel pin of Awesome P. It just looks really cool. It's going to be numbered. It only is going to be coming from this edition. So if you're a pin collector and you like pins, this is one to get. But the coolest thing, what I think, and I think I've heard a lot of people agree, this is in the Retro and the Deluxe, which is cool. I'm a Steelbook fan. I know a lot of other collectors are Steelbook fans. So we have our Steelbook, and it's coming overseas, but we do have, a couple were sent out for us to check. So I do have one of them to show off. This is probably the coolest Steelbook ever. Our designer, Erica, did an amazing job, and I think you guys will like this. This is the Pigeon Dev Steelbook. Ooh. It is a horizontal Steelbook. It is a classic TV with the characters coming out, and it is ridged. Like, it is not flat. Like, these are all in, grooves and stuff. You can feel it. It's shiny. It looks cool. Something that Nintendo doesn't do is put the name on the spine. We put the name on the spine. The back of it is actually the back of the TV with the warning labels and all that is there. All the inputs are there. We have it all there, just like a TV. So this is just like one giant TV. And the cool part is when you open it up, you get the inside of a tube TV.
Nice.
With our characters from Pigeon Dev Games hidden amongst there. So you get the whole thing. It is like literally having a TV that you get to see inside of, and obviously put your game and everything there. But this is the first horizontal Steelbook, and it is exclusive to those 2 editions. So they're not sold out. This is limited to 1,000 for the Retro and 1,000 for the Deluxe. So there's 2,000 of these total. And when they're gone, they're gone. And I will tell you, Steelbooks are expensive. And these just, they came out amazingly. So if we still have copies. So if it's something you're interested in, if you're a Steelbook collector or just a collector, or you just like neat things, I mean, this is just something that's really neat. It's the first of its kind. And I just wanted to show it off because I think, our viewers and stuff would probably get a kick out of this. Maybe you guys, I don't know if you're interested in Steelbooks or not, but maybe you would get a kick out of it too, to see it before, we just released the video today showing it off. So, this is day one of us even revealing it to people.
Nice. And you can plug it in and it actually works. No, I'm just kidding.
I wish. I wish. That would be really cool. But we wanted to up the level with Steelbooks because some Steelbooks are just kind of blah. Some are really cool. Like, Nintendo did the Link's Awakening one that was a Game Boy. That was previously my favorite Steelbook. This one, I think, tops it just because it's so cool. Like that retro CRT TV, look. And just Erica captured the whole thing front and back and inside.
That's really cool. Yeah, it's fun to see, like, some of the Steelbooks they're cool, but they're pretty plain. But that's awesome to have like an extra feature. Like if you're kind of on the fence, that kind of stuff pushes people over the edge, for sure. That's really awesome.
And you still get everything else like that I showed off, which is the premium edition, which I still have here. You still get everything that was included in those editions, so you can put them together, or you can keep them in the retro box and in the packages we provide. So you it's a great deal, to get that, especially as a steelbook collector.
Nice. Greg, what have you been up to over this last week?
Pretty much some of the same games that I played last time around. So I'm doing Animal Crossing. I just out on a lot of the cherry blossom recipes. I made it a goal to try to complete that collection this time. I did get to the first day that I was looking at it, but then I haven't logged into the game since. So don't know if I'll make it all in time, but I'm really hoping so I don't have to either time travel or wait for another year for it. So there's that part of it. Still was going on Pokemon Sword, still going to try to catch all 400 Pokemon. I'm closer to 340 now, and that was pretty much where I left off. And then then we just got a nice new game for Easter. My daughter got Bowser's Fury, so I finally spent the last yesterday and today just pretty much playing it for quite a while. Put it in at least 4 hours or so, and up to 70 cat shines on mine and also on her account separate. We obviously have some that each other don't, but it's been quite a pretty fun experience. I really like the direction that they went with this, and it's just been a complete blast to play. Main gripe is it seems like they just kind of reuse some of the same cat shines over and over again. You're just collecting 5 shards. Oh, you're just collecting the cats. Or, oh, you're just catching Luigi. That's part's kind of disappointing that so much of it is recycled doing the same tasks over and over again. But overall, it was very fun, and I did beat Bowser's final form, and that was also very fun. And right before the podcast, my daughter beat it on her second try, so
nice.
She was able to beat Bowser and do the whole Giga Cat part at the end too. So it was a lot of fun, and we've been enjoying our time with it together.
That's really cool.
That's great. To be fair, they do recycle things in other Mario games. I mean, 8 red coins in every stage and 100 stars in every stage. That's par for the course.
Well, I think those were the only 2 released in Mario 64, but yeah, I do know they kind of do that a lot. I guess I don't really remember a ton of it from Galaxy outside the Comet Stars, but I don't know. It just seemed like it. I guess the reoccurrence of it seems a lot quicker. I guess I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And
then pretty much on mobile, still doing Fire Emblem Heroes. And also today I did get a little bit more time into Odyssey. We had more fun collecting a few more moons there as well, but not a significant portion spent on that, only an hour today. So that's pretty much it for me then.
Cool. Well, you guys have basically stated that you played a lot of the same games as last week, and so did I. More Rocket League, and that was it. Trying to get in a little bit more playing time before Season 3 will start tomorrow. So I've kind of tried to get the last little bit I could in from Rocket Pass and some other things, just kind of playing along. I've pretty much decided that I want to end the season right where I am in Platinum 2, and then kind of maybe shoot for trying to get closer to Diamond next season. So I decided to mainly just playing in tournaments and stuff like that. Actually, one of the newest updates just dropped on Rocket League about an hour before we started recording, and that's the ability to they added an ability to make trading up items easier. So as you play the game, you unlock different cars and different decals and different wheels and all these different things, and there's different levels of those items, and you could trade them in. If you, let's say, trade 5 I forget what the thing is, rare items, they will upgrade to 1 very rare item. And so up to this point, up until a couple hours ago, that was a very ridiculously difficult to do. like not difficult, but it should have been a lot easier. And so they've redone the whole like trade up menu, and it's going to make it a whole lot easier for people to do that, which I'm excited about. So probably going to check that out later after the podcast and everything. But yeah, season 3 goes live tomorrow, so pretty excited about that. But that's basically all I've been playing. Yeah, didn't touch Spider-Man or Hyrule Warriors like I thought I was going to. Life got busy this last week, so but did have a lot of fun with Rocket League. Let's see. Yeah, anybody else that has been playing games last week, let us know in the chat. What's Jared's asking about if we followed the things that I can't pronounce. The deducible, been drowned creepypasta. I worked on the most recent animation from that creator. Like, he worked on that? That's awesome. I knew he was like into graphics and animation and stuff like that, but I didn't realize he like worked on that. That's really cool. So, way to go, Jared. He's part of our team. We're pretty excited about that. Nice. So
we need to put him to work for us.
yeah, for free. So I just thought it'd be fun as well, before we dive into this week's news, to talk about the death of Mario one more time. Nintendo did tweet out one last thank you for playing and celebrating Mario's 35th anniversary, but we're still basically going to kill him. And they did so on March 31st. But yeah, did you guys get any last second time with any of the Mario games that died off, or any of the other games that went away before they died off on the 31st? Or were you just like, you know what, it's no big deal, I just let it go? That's how I was. I thought about playing Mario 35 one more time, but I didn't. And I'm not missing it too much. Barry, did you get any time with the games right before they left the service?
I played a little Mario 35, but the main reason I did that was because if people collected enough coins overall, then everyone that participated and at least collected one coin got 350 platinum points. So I did do that for the points, but otherwise, no, I didn't do anything else.
Yeah. Greg, did you get any time with Mario Maker or anything else before it went down?
No, I really had wanted to, but I just kind of spaced out on it. And then hearing the bookmark service went down prematurely, the report on last time, I was like, well, I guess it's almost not really worth it because no one can really bookmark the course. So it was, or really wanted to, but is it really worth my time? I guess not quite as much as I was hoping for to get in, but really should have probably, because won't be able to do that stuff anymore again. So unless they, some reason, just bring it all back.
Yeah.
Meaning more like Mario 35 and stuff, but not if you bring back a Wii U Mario Maker.
Yeah, it's kind of weird to think that, we're all upset this is going away and everything, but yet we didn't really even bother to go out of our way to play the games while we still could. Or I guess some of those games will still live on. We have them, like Mario 3D All Stars and stuff like that, so we can play them anytime. But there are a couple that can't upload any more levels to Mario Maker and can't play Mario 35 anymore. So yeah, if you missed your chance on those games or didn't get some of the others that are now no longer sold, sorry, you missed your chance. However, I walked into both a Best Buy and a Walmart this last week, and still plenty of Game & Watch Super Mario Brothers on the shelves, even though supposedly they're supposed to be taking them off the shelves. Lots of them still out there. So yeah, if you missed your chance on that, apparently you could still get one. They're not making them anymore, but they apparently have not pulled them off the shelves like we had heard they were supposed to. So you might be able to still get your hands on one of those. All right, well, let's...
And the bad news is they took down the pin, so I couldn't even order that after getting Bowser's Fury.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Oh, yeah, that sucks.
Well, let's move into our first news section a couple days ago. It is now April 6th as we're recording, so 5 days ago was April Fool's Day. And last year, we didn't really have too many April Fool's jokes because, COVID itself was, a bad joke that, the world just played on us all at the same time. And so for the most part, everybody decided to stray away from, doing any tricks, any jokes and things like that. But they kind of came back this year, not in full force, not like it was in the past where like pretty much everywhere you look online on April 1st, you have to think, is this true or is this legit or not? But there were some companies that did have an April Fool's joke and had some fun with that. And so if you have a favorite one that you saw on April Fool's Day this year, be sure to throw that in the chat or the comments later. But I really didn't see very many video game related ones. But Barry and Greg grabbed a couple that's kind of their favorites. And so, thought it'd just be fun to just kind of talk about what you guys saw and just kind of have some fun with that and maybe, shed some light on some of those jokes that maybe other people missed, kind of like myself. I didn't realize these even existed until I started talking to these guys. So, Greg, tell us about this one from Switch Stop.
Yeah, so I follow that one because it's also kind of similar to Switch Force. I think some of the same people are at work between both of them. So they did like a parody of like a Smash reveal trailer. I think they just pretty much took one of Sakurai's videos and just redubbed over with their own voices. And so pretty much they made like a complete parody of it and just were saying like, oh, instead of just having two fighter passes, we're going to have three. So then they went on to like, and also we're going to reveal all 6 of those characters right now. So like they had these tiny little intro trailers for every single character that they were doing. And theirs went from Phoenix Wright from Ace Attorney, having Rayman, Crash, Bandicoot, Freddy from Five Nights at Freddy's, character called Dart Monkey I've never even heard of, and then like the imposter from Among Us. So it was pretty obvious that they were like fake because you can totally tell some of the scenes that they did were like they have obviously create their scenes themselves. So right now we're seeing like there's a little Ace Attorney one that looked pretty good. I think they just took some game footage and just added some different text in there. So like they did a pretty good job with some of these. They looked really good and everything. So like even plastered Sakurai's face there, as you can see. So the reasoning behind having another Fighter's Pass is like, oh, we accidentally deleted all the code to Breath of the Wild 2 and even Metroid Prime 4, so we have to restart both of those over in development. So that's why we need 6 more characters in Smash. So I thought that was kind of amusing there too. So I don't know. You guys have a chance to watch the video at all?
Yeah.
No, I didn't, but I'm just watching this now and it's hilarious.
It's pretty funny. Yeah, I like how like as the video goes on, you can tell that I'm wondering if they like purposely stopped caring or if they did it on purpose, but or if they like just ran out of time, for instance. But it's funny because they actually reference it like near the end. They're like, as you can tell, we kind of just didn't even care about the rest of these trailers, so we just threw them together, and so. And that's what they did pretty much. So yeah, and it's funny like how they what you're if you're watching the video version, you're seeing Sakurai refer to Minecraft Steve, and he's like, it was going to be hard to make this happen, but they also threw me a block that I had to animate, so I could do anything now. So.
Yeah.
So it was definitely a fun take on it for sure, and yeah, it was definitely one of those ones that I never, if I would have seen this, on April Fool's, I definitely wouldn't have believed it was true. But that's the kind of April Fool's jokes that I really like. I like the ones that are pretty obvious that it's fake, but I still get a really good laugh out of it, and that's kind of how I thought about this one.
Yeah, they definitely had some really good jokes and everything, just to kind of shoehorning in stuff against like Minecraft Steve, as you said, and then You're like, oh, even if we did stuff like Banjo Kazooie and like all these other things we thought we couldn't do, and I thought it was really nicely put together the way they tied in some of those references and jokes, and like even though I said I didn't know who Dart Monkey was, like, oh, there was only one fan that requested this, and
Right.
so we put him in for you, just like no one else wanted him, but this one fan did.
I like how they're like when they talked about Ubisoft as well. It was like, why did it take so long for us to get this character in there? Well, because Ubisoft had to remember that they technically own the IP and actually could give us credit for it or something. So it was pretty funny.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, if you guys got a chance to watch this before, let us know what you think about it. But yeah, I think the only unfortunate thing is they did grab characters like Crash and ones that I think a lot of people are still hoping that actually is in Smash eventually. So hopefully by parodying it and putting in an April Fool's joke, I know a lot of people are hoping that doesn't mean it's doomed. I don't think that has any connection with it at all because they don't know. But
yeah, I mean,
it'll be funny.
I mean, it's already been pre-decided. We just don't know the remaining two fighters. So.
Yep.
If it wasn't pre-decided, that could be one thing, but
yep, absolutely. So yeah, it was pretty funny.
This was also that's pretty clever the way they're doing the Five Nights at Freddy's right now for Luigi's Mansion. It was
that's
kind
true.
of cool how they just
yeah. As I was like watching it earlier today when you shared it, I was like, what Luigi's already in this. And I was like, oh, I see what they're doing. So yeah, pretty clever. Way to go, Switch Stop. Pretty awesome little April Fool's joke. Barry, what did Limited Rare do?
So Limited Rare, for those of you that don't know, is a limited game publisher, and last year on April Fool's, Limited Rare put out a game called Poop Slinger, which came out and was sold 80 copies. Everyone thought it was a joke, and it turned out to be legit. That company disappeared and went away, and a new person or a new group took up the mantle. And on Halloween, they released Tamashi for PS4, and we were like, "Wait, what is this, a joke?" And they were fooling around on their Twitter, like, "Oh, the site was constantly going down. It was very frustrating. Like, oh, Boris tripped on a wire and took out the site. Hold on." And they were screwing around with it. Like, Ivan needs more vodka to get the site back up and stuff like that. And they were just having fun. And supposedly the game is coming. But when that happened, they put out a countdown timer and they said, "Hey, stay tuned to our next announcement." And everyone was like, "Oh my God, what is it going to be?" And they realized the countdown ended on April 1st. And we're like, "Oh, that was the year anniversary of the Poop Slinger." So we're all waiting, and myself included. I was like, "All right, let's see what happens at midnight." And waiting and waiting and waiting, and they're like, "Oh, the site kept going down," and they were screwing around, and then they're like, "Oh, you know what? We're not going to put it up at midnight. We're going to put it up at 3:00 in the morning, midnight Pacific." And I was like, "You know what? I'm going to bed. I'm done." Meanwhile, that countdown timer, which normally would have hit 0 at midnight, changed to 258 days later or 258 years later, and it would always say different messages. Like, "You're a fool for being here. Oh, I'm really limited run Doug. Haha." Like all these weird, and it would just constantly change to these broken, funny messages. And then at 3:00 in the morning Eastern time, sure enough, their site was updated, and they did have a product, but it's a T-shirt. And the T-shirt that they put up, which was sale for one day, says, "I waited 5 months, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt," with their website, and you can get it in black and pink. And they did tweet it out there. Don't miss out. This T-shirt's full of regrets. No, you got to get it. And so many people were just so burned, like, "Oh my God, we stayed up." And I'm glad I didn't stay up till 3:00, but I know others that did. And I was like, "Oh my God," they had everybody waiting 5 months, and all I got was a T-shirt. So of course I bought it. I had to buy it. I hoped it was be here. I would have been wearing it tonight, just as I got it more like a badge of regret, and the failure achievements for "you died 10 times in a row," achievement unlocked.
Right.
But even throughout the whole Twitter, even before that, they were having so much fun just with people, you know, just saying stop complaining that it's late. That just depends on where you live. Europe complained last time, so blame them. It's their fault. You know, like literally, someone hacked us. Ivan, like, fix it quickly. What time were we supposed to release this? You know, like, they were just literally screwing around and having fun, and whoever's behind it, is just laughing all the way to the bank kind of deal. And they called it about the web counter, the gift that keeps on giving because it was constantly doing weird random things. But yeah, this is a legit thing. People have started getting their t-shirts, and when mine eventually comes, we'll see what happens. But it was an April Fool's that actually got a real product, but not what anybody expected, and just pissed off people.
Nice. What's this? Is this just? Oh yeah, it's just a GIF or a GIF.
Yeah.
Spinning.
Yeah, it's for F5. You mean?
Nice. Yeah.
Yeah, just like refresh. Like,
browser,
they know.
Yeah.
They know exactly what they're doing. They're totally screwing around with people, and the whole thing is the Twitter is hilarious just because they're doing that, and they're playing like, oh, we're Russians, and even though they're most likely Americans, just playing as Russians and stereotypical. We need vodka to keep going, and like, and if you scroll down even further, they have like really weird gifts. Like, nothing dirty, but just like really, really a person with bananas out of his ears and stuff like that. And like, you could tell they're just having fun. But this was a weird April Fool's, and I'm not the only one that bought the shirt, but it's just something that they did. They're just so bizarre what they have. It's just
This
crazy.
is ridiculous.
I know. Like, that's
Wow.
that's what they've done. It's just it's just so funny. So
Nice.
they know it. They've been building this up for a while. Like, oh yeah, we're ready for you. And they did have the T-shirt available all day on April 1st, and then they eventually took it down, and their website is just barren now again.
You had to get it when you could.
Yep,
Nice.
one day only.
Nice. All right. Moving on, Greg. We almost got a Animal Crossing port. Is that right?
Yeah, so one of the channels I follow for a lot of Animal Crossing news is Mayor Mori. He does a lot of coverage of different things, so like, oh, the change of seasons, oh, here's all the upcoming bugs and fish you can collect. Here's like some tips you probably didn't know, and taught me a whole lot about the game that I'd never even figured was in the Animal Crossing, so obviously I'm new to the series in general. So obviously for April Fool's Day, he made like a video of saying they're porting New Leaf over to Switch. So pretty much all he did was just to update the New Horizons box art, and like there's Steve's got on the screen there, and he kind of just points out like, oh, you can see there's Judy and there's like Raymond. So they updated the like New Horizons villagers are in the game. Like, oh, since they're already up, they brought Skyward Sword forward. Of course, they're going to bring Animal Crossing like again, even though there's already another one on there. So like all they pretty much did was just put some of the New Horizons characters on the box art, and apparently it kind of fooled a number of people in his comments on his video. So they're like, oh, I thought this was legit, and then because at the end of his videos, he's always make sure to see if you're actually like listening to the whole thing. It'll be like, oh, comment April Fools if you made it to the end of the video, and so then that people then realize it took that line at the very end for them to realize, oh wait, this is not legit. But I kind of figured it as soon as I clicked on the video, because there's no way that I would believe Nintendo would be poured over a new one when New Horizons is like decimating sales charts and numbers. So
Right.
it'd be really silly to kind of compete with that, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Even though I'm sure people like Roth would absolutely love this, but I don't see it as a possibility.
Yeah.
I don't see that happening.
No, not at all. But yeah, I do. It gets me excited about some of the features that was in New Leaf. I'd love to still bring over, but yeah, it's kind of one of those that it's a little more like trying to make people believe that's something else, even though it's kind of far fetched. But yeah, I always feel bad for those people that actually think it's legit.
Yeah, they get their hopes up for nothing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's too bad.
And like the video that he plays is just like his island, and I know it's like based on the starting area of Wild World or something, because that was like his first game. So if you just saw him running around his island, he has a custom like train area and stuff too. So he's done a number of things and showed me a lot of stuff, and even shows off like a few of the not economy of functioning glitches that are in Animal Crossing as well too. So I know that was you can currently plant trees in the middle of paths if you like try to view like a house or a building on top of paths. So Nintendo hasn't patched that out yet. If you're interested in those kinds of design tricks right now.
Nice. All right, Barry. Did Super Rare have anything this year?
Before I get into that, there's actually breaking news.
Oh,
Based on what we just said 5 minutes ago. 5 minutes ago, there's breaking news from Nintendo. We now know why Super Mario 35 was taken down, because Pac-Man 99 is coming tomorrow at 6 p.m. Pacific, and it is not a timed thing. This is just announced 5 minutes ago. This is what's happening. We are getting from Nintendo America's official Twitter. They have got a trailer and everything. We're getting Pac-Man 99. So that was, I guess Nintendo can't do two of these or more than two of these at the same time. So Mario died for Pac-Man. But yeah,
Mario died
Tetris
for
99
Pac-Man.
and Mario. We can't do Mario. We have to do, can't do Pac-Man as well and have a third one of these type of games. We have to get rid of Mario. But yeah, if you go to the official Twitter, this literally dropped 5 minutes ago or 6 minutes ago, and it is officially a thing, Pac-Man 99. Not, I had to check, like, is this an April Fool's joke? But no, it's not.
It is not not April Fool's. This seems totally legit. Why I mean, this is crazy, but still, I guess their servers just can't handle more than one battle royale game at the same time, or more than two.
Well, no,
I guess Tetris
more than
99.
two.
Yeah, but this is kind of crazy, and I am looking forward to this. This could be a lot of fun. like. So yeah, if you're watching the video version, we have the trailer running right now that just dropped. But this looks interesting. Greg, what do you think about this?
It's certainly obviously pretty well done. I mean, Pac-Man 99, no one would really think about that either. And it's just kind of funny that they would use another retro game to try to bring it forward till today. So it's kind of funny that they would, not really a complete retro game, but like obviously a take on Tetris 99, you guys were saying. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cool that they would try to do that with like 99 players.
yeah. I was a huge fan of Championship Edition 1 and 2, and so it kind of seems like a lot of the Championship Edition stuff is brought into this as well, and how I'm guessing, you're sending ghosts and stuff to other people, but it seems like you're also got a bunch of Pac-Men running around at the same time too. So I don't know. It comes out tomorrow. So I guess I'll add that to my. Oh, wait a second. I forgot there's paid content as well, so you can get all these extra versions of the game as well. Galaga is in there. Nice.
Galaga, look at that.
This is awesome.
And I wonder if there's going to be a physical with these extra skins and stuff like that, since there's paid content.
Yeah, it kind of feels like they're taking a very similar approach to Tetris 99, and kind of just like, hey, we can do this with Pac-Man as well. And so,
well, it's not timed either. Like, it's not like a timed thing. This will stay.
Yeah, so that's cool. Well, breaking news.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that's awesome. Not April Fool's Day related, but is exciting news. So that's cool.
Yes. So anyways, back to our regular scheduled podcast.
Back to April Fool's. What did Super Rare do anything this year?
Super Rare just pretty much put out a tweet, which is probably my least favorite type of April Fool's joke that can be there, where literally saying breaking news or big news, we listen to Super Rare Games, which for those that don't know, is another limited company that takes digital games on the Switch and makes them physically, is making a big change to give you what you asked for. After our 50th release, we will move away from physical games to focus exclusively on digital games, taking suggestions for our new name for this brand new era. And obviously that would kill their entire business. So it's one of those that you can see a mile away being an obvious fake. But it's interesting to see something, a company just say we're going to literally kill our entire business model. And I'm sure there are some people that honestly believe it, like, oh my God, is this real? It probably caught a few people like, oh, I'm glad I got the first 50. Like, that's going to be the whole set. Like, no, that would be stupid. That would be killing the company. But that's what they decided to do for April Fools.
Nice. Well, Nintendo is already doing that, having rare digital games. So, in connection to what we just talked about. So, yeah, wouldn't be totally unheard of, but still kind of dumb, but wouldn't be unheard of. Oh man. So yeah, if you had some other April Fool's joke that you guys found online that has to do with Nintendo or video games in general, be sure to toss that in the live chat, but also in the comments after the fact. We'd love to see what was out there. Maybe there's something that we overlooked that was really great to just have some fun and laugh, and especially we're hopefully closer and closer to the end of this pandemic, but it was nice to actually be able to laugh at April Fools again this year, because it wasn't so funny last year. So, all right, well, moving on to some news. Looks like E3 is coming back. Last year, speaking of the COVID-19 pandemic, we did have E3 went on a little hiatus, as well as like a bunch of other events and things like that. We've talked about it plenty over the last year, but E3 is coming back this year. It's going to be a digital-only event, and it's going to be June 12th through the 15th, and you can head to e3expo.com for more information on that. But yeah, several companies are going to be attending this online event and have a bunch of game interaction and shows and things like that. So we don't really know exactly what it's going to be like, but Nintendo is going to be there, and so is Xbox, Capcom, Konami, Ubisoft, Take-Two, Warner Brothers, and Koch Media. However, Sony, EA, Activision, Blizzard, Sega, Bandai Namco, and Square Enix are not attending. But Nintendo will be there, most likely with a Nintendo Direct that is all E3, centered around E3 and all the big announcements and stuff like that. So looks like they'll be coming back in that way. And yeah, they're going to have some different reveals. Like I said, it's probably going to be a lot of shows, but I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to do anything beyond just the presentations, like one after another, if they're going to allow us. I know we've talked about before, what if they're able to do some sort of interactive demos, timed demos, and things like that they were able to get to us at home. Maybe I know that Nintendo's done stuff with Best Buy before and partnered with them, and so you can go to your local Best Buy and try these games in addition to the E3 show floor. You can also try them there.
Is that a good thing during a pandemic?
Probably not.
Go into lines in the retailer.
Probably not, but it's another way, I guess, of making it happen. But yeah, like, what do you guys think of E3? Like, is this a good move, or should they just have waited until they can actually do E3 the quote unquote right way by doing it in person again? What do you think, Barry?
I think this is absolutely the right move. I mean, even if they were to do a live show, you need any type of live show is expensive. So in order to put a show like that on, not only do you need to recoup the cost that you spend to put on the show, but you also need to make profit. And with the pandemic going on now, how many people will feel safe going to one of these shows? You have to obviously limit how many people are there and limit to, the floor space is only so much, so big. So if you have a lot of people in line, you have to space out 6 feet apart. It becomes a logistical nightmare, even with vaccines going out. Um, not everybody's going to feel safe. So I think this year this is the absolute best option. As for what Nintendo could do outside of a direct, because I think at this point it's a very safe bet to say there will be a Nintendo Direct E3 2021. I mean, I think that's just a safe bet. But I do also see them doing the Treehouse like they've done before, where they've already done multiple Treehouses, just via Zoom calls where everybody's on different channels and one person plays. And they could absolutely do one of those and just have the developers on a Zoom call while they talk and play the games, which is what they did anyway. So the Treehouse, I can absolutely see them continuing and just making it, multiple days like before. Other companies, I could definitely see, Microsoft doing a digital presentation, and the other ones that are there doing a digital presentation. And it seems like the ones that aren't showing don't often do a presentation themselves. Like Square does sometimes, but only sometimes. And if they don't have enough to show, they're just not even going to bother. That's not to say we won't see stuff from Square or Sega in Nintendo's Direct. They're just not going to be doing a standalone thing. As for demos, I think hands down, I can definitely see Microsoft doing it. 100% I could see Microsoft giving digital demos out for people to play. I hope Nintendo does it as well. I think that'd be great. Nintendo's great at putting things on for a limited amount of time. So I can see them say, this is a 5-day demo, play it now and, forever hold your peace. And I think they would get a lot of good feedback, especially if they pulled like what they do with like Bravely Default and Octopath Traveler and all that from Square, where they do a survey and they say, hey, because you played this demo, what do you think? And gain a lot of feedback, because most of these games will be, still in development. So they're not fully fleshed out, not fully done. And I think that would be a really cool thing for them to do. Because it's Nintendo, I can see them saying, hey, we're only going to have a demo at the Nintendo New York store, and we're going to limit it to 8 people. So good luck. Being something stupid like that. I could also see them doing something like the Best Buy, because I don't think it's a good decision. I can see them doing it. On a normal year, it would be a great decision. I liked when they did it before. But in a year like this, still, I think it's a terrible decision, because you're going to get people saying, screw it, I want to play the Breath of the Wild 2. And they're going to line up, and who knows if it becomes a super spreader event, or if everyone, had to show your vaccination card, but that only applies if you get inside, waiting in line outside. You have your vaccination card. Someone sneezes, everyone gets, it could be a logistical nightmare, just for bad press. So the safest bet is just have people download the demos in their home. You can have them self-destruct Mission Impossible style too after 5 days or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like the Monster Hunter demo, where it's like you can play this 30 times and then after that you can't. You could say you could play this demo 2 times or 3 times and then it's dead or something like that.
Yep. Absolutely. Jared's suggesting they could also do online signups for in-store demos and things like that, which you could do. You just sign up for a certain time slot. That could be possible for sure too. So I don't know. Be interesting to see how they go about it. I think it's possible though. I think it's possible to make it good. It won't be the same, but maybe more people will actually be able to participate in E3 this way, and it's not costing a fortune to go to. That was just great. So media, I think you're going to be able to get into for free like usual, but I'm pretty sure I glanced through the whole sign up and everything, but I'm pretty sure anyone can attend online for free, which is really great, and to just open that up to everyone. Yeah, Greg, what do you think about all digital E3?
I mean, it's my preference, obviously, because we can't travel there, and it's kind of a lot to expect this, especially in our U.S. where we're trying to get everyone vaccinated right now. So it's completely understandable that they're doing this, and I definitely support them for moving forward. That we still have something for everybody. Like they can still watch like news on their favorite companies and stuff. It's obviously kind of surprising that Sony hasn't even committed to it yet, but I know there's been some stuff with them saying like, oh, like we just want to do our own events from now on. So I don't know if like that could be Sony like more holding back out of E3 just to do their own things. So I don't really know what's going on there, but I would absolutely love if they did some demos. I mean, they did do those things for Splatoon and I think ARMS even for like, to
Mhm.
test out the online multi-server things, but that was for non-E3 events. It would be nice if they actually did have a lot of the playable games that normally are at E3 to be played at home. But I know they're very sensitive to people like trying to read all the source code and finding out information on the game and everything. So that's I think that's why they're very cautious on those types of things. I mean, that's what we've seen. Like, they're using N64 emulators because it was used on Mario 3D World and it was Perfect Dark and um, Paper Mario 64 and stuff like that. So
Mhm.
they're not always the best at covering up those kinds of obscure things in the code. So it'd be nice if we did have a demo, but not
Mhm.
keeping my fingers crossed that it will happen.
Yeah. One of the interesting things is that E3 usually runs Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And this year, if you didn't catch when June 12th is, that's a Saturday. So it's a Saturday through Tuesday this year. So a lot of times there are the extra things that kind of happen pre E3 that kind of lead into it, and that sometimes even starts as early as the Friday before that Tuesday. Kind of all the stuff that's leading into it. But this year specifically, it will be a Saturday through Tuesday. Why do you guys have any speculation on like why they would change the dates up? Why wouldn't they stick with that whole like Tuesday through Thursday like they usually do?
My guess is people will be off of work, and they'll be able to catch it. It'll be easier for them. That's my guess. I mean, I feel they've kept the Tuesday through Thursday probably because those are the cheapest days to rent out the convention center.
Mm,
I'm sure weekends are significantly more expensive. And since it was a physical thing, it's all about, keeping it cheap so that they can run the show and, make a profit. Since they don't have to worry about that anymore, may as well do it on the weekends when people can catch more of the stuff, get more eyes on it. So that's my prediction. And as Greg talked about Sony, I do not think Sony is going to be there, but it wouldn't surprise me if Sony had a state of play that just happened to be airing during this time period.
right, right. Well, I think that's one of the things that I'm kind of confused about. Like, what really makes it officially E3, like whether it's branded that or not, whether it's also featured on the E3 YouTube channel or
Or
like
yeah, that
it's
or the website
basically it.
probably.
But like people could still do really easily. Like before when they wanted to do their own thing, they had to rent out their own space and all that stuff, but it's really easy to just like also throw their state of play video up the same weekend as E3 and then like, oh, yeah, we weren't technically a part of E3, but they are. I don't know. Greg, you got any insight on this?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's with April Fools too. You can just kind of throw your hat in the ring and be like,
Right.
oh, I'm going to do this, so I can be part of it. So, I mean, there's nothing stopping them from just saying like, oh, maybe they just don't want to be associated with the E3 brand, and then they want to comply with like, oh, well, Xbox is showing their presentation at 11 a.m. on Saturday. Like, oh, we also want it 11 a.m. on Saturday for our
Hmm.
state of play. So, I don't know if they're able to do something like that. And
Right.
like, oh, well, Nintendo's always been day three, which is Tuesday, so it's I don't
Hmm.
know. So
Yeah, that's a good point. Like, yeah, if they're a part of the E3, they got to share time so they're not overlapping. But if you're not officially a part of E3, I can just toss my video up whenever I want to to like maybe overtake it and compete and everything. Could be
I
an
can
interesting E3.
I can see them doing that over Microsoft, or most likely Microsoft. I can see them doing over Nintendo as well. I can't see them doing it over any other uh, company because all those companies put games on
Yeah.
PlayStation, so they wouldn't want to piss off their partners. But at the same time, Microsoft has a chance to maybe bring stuff to PlayStation. I don't know. It just seems dirty. Like I
Yeah.
remember there was the one year where Square Enix was like overtaking Nintendo slot, and people complained, and like Square Enix moved. They're like,
Hmm.
"Oh, we're gonna move our thing up so that Nintendo could have their slot." You know, uh, if honestly, the gaming industry as a whole is an ecosystem, and Nintendo, congratulates everybody, and Microsoft is probably, truthfully, the friendliest of the big three when it comes to congratulating and all that stuff, and Sony is the most arrogant of them. they were the first to pull out of E3. They're the first to say we could do our own thing. Granted, Nintendo pulled out of physical shows. They were always there, and they definitely had the big stages and everything. So I could see Sony's arrogance going that way and trying that. But, I'm sure they're not very thrilled about having to put MLB The Show on Xbox Game Pass day one. At the same time, I'm sure that's not something they're really happy about.
Yeah. But there's much more crossover nowadays too. I mean, like Microsoft just keeps putting out games on the Switch, and so
But
in
only
a
on the
way,
Switch.
only on the Switch. So that's kind of a little bit of a, they probably wouldn't compete either. And yet, yeah, you do have the the show coming out on Xbox Game Pass, which is just crazy. So like, it seems like in a lot of ways we're kind of moving forward, maybe a little bit beyond the console war stuff, and then yet there's other stuff that still fires it up, and yeah, again, could be very interesting E3 this year. I unfortunately will actually be unavailable to watch and attend and participate for the first time in I don't even know how long, probably ever. I'll actually be out of the country during that weekend and unable to participate. So it's so sad, but hopefully nothing, like for my sake and a selfish my sake, I'm hoping nothing big is going to be announced while I'm gone.
You heard this. Steve's going to be gone. Big drops. The Megaton announcements are happening.
Oh,
because Steve
it's
won't be
going
there.
to happen. We're going to have all this Breath of the Wild 2 stuff and Metroid Prime 4, and
Oh, yeah,
I'm going to come
shoo-ins.
back and like finally get back into to Wi-Fi range in the airport and like just be bombarded by everything. It's going to be crazy.
The first thing you do is go to the E3 site and just like watch Nintendo's thing before anything's spoiled for you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll be like,
Hopefully you'll be back by Tuesday though, so we could do our podcast.
I'm supposed to get back that Monday, I
Good.
think. Yeah. So hopefully it all works out well. And hopefully I'm not, stranded in some other country because of some, pandemic thing or whatever.
Hope
who
you're
knows?
vaccinated.
We'll see. All right. Let's move on to our last big story before we hit some headlines today. And that is that Super Nintendo World, the Mario Kart ride, Koopa's Challenge, was we're getting reports that it was made with a game engine, so you can actually update the entire ride with new characters, themes, and more. The game's director, I think it is, and Garati, I think is what his last name is. He said that we've used technology also in the design process. We built the entire land in virtual reality, and the design team could look around and place at a place and get sightings and figure out where to move elements. The entire ride was built in a game engine, so they can jump in at the last second if they wanted to and say completely change the ride around. Maybe they want to build something around a specific event that's going on, or upgrade a certain thing, or put additional characters in, or let's say Mario Kart 9 comes out and it's got something special and they want to bring that into the ride as well, stuff like that. So the entire game, or the entire ride being made in a game engine allows it to be one of the most updatable amusement park rides that I think exist right now. So yeah, I just love to kind of give you guys a take on this and maybe hear some speculation, some ideas, maybe like what you would like to see Nintendo do with this kind of technology, that they could easily just update this ride just, on the fly if they wanted to. Greg, what do you think about this?
that's honestly really cool because I mean, if they ever want to do like a seasonal thing, like they could just slap some like Christmas hats or something on some of the characters and the races, and do all sorts of very easy theme adjustments just for like a time of year, like those costumes kind of thing. So, especially if they need to update any new characters in there, like if there's like a big character from the next Mario game that they want to put on the ride, then they could easily promote it by just inserting the character into the ride. So, I definitely think that's really cool the way they do that, and it'd be obviously much nicer if other attractions and rides and stuff at other theme parks could update that easily. But obviously, this is very much state of the art right now, so I'm hoping it'll transfer over to other kind of attractions and stuff, but other theme parks as well.
Cool. Cool. Barry, what do you think about this?
It's interesting. You guys are talking about the implications of putting this in the ride and updating it. And, I think that's really cool just to state the upgradableness of this ride. But my initial thoughts when I heard this were the opposite, where, oh my God, they can do something similar as what they did with F-Zero GX. And if you'd never played F-Zero GX on the GameCube, one of the cool things about that game, besides it being the last actual F-Zero game, is it actually had a sister game called F-Zero AX, which was only in the arcades. And inside GX are the arcade AX courses that you could unlock. I don't know if you had to unlock them officially or you had to use like a Game Shark, but they were all there. And it was really great because if you couldn't find one of those arcade machines, you could still play all those extra courses that were exclusive, and it just expanded the roster of the game. And imagine Mario Kart 9 or 10 or whatever, where they actually have cups that are Super Nintendo World Cups, and they're actually riding and racing on the courses that were designed for the history of this park. Like, here's the launch race, and here's the Halloween updated race and the Christmas race or whatever races, and however many they do, just easy expand in this way. Some of these races will obviously be gone. You won't be able to race them anymore in the park, and now they'll be immortally brought there, but it also expands the roster of the game. And if you can't get to a Super Nintendo World, you don't want to go to a theme park, you can race those races at home.
That'd be really cool too. But here we go, raising our expectations way too high. Probably not going to happen. But
never gonna
that would be cool, though, for sure. I think hopefully they do utilize this, I think, in both ways, because I think both would be really cool I love the idea of being able to update it, but I also, that'd be really cool if we could bring that home and have that experience, or at least a similar enough experience where it's still able to live on in Mario Kart 9 or whatever they end up calling it. They're really cool. So, checking out the chat. Looks like you guys are having some great conversations, but not quite what we're talking about. But carry on. I'm not saying that's bad. I'm just making sure that I don't need to reference anything that you guys have said about what we've been talking about. But I think that brings us to the end of our big news tonight. Let's hit some headlines before we move on and talk about what we're going to be playing for the next week. I'll start off. There's a little update for your Nintendo Switch. 12.0 has been added to the Nintendo Switch firmware. So before you get really, really excited and think, oh my gosh, all these different things are coming to the Nintendo Switch, finally, it's a big update. They went from like 11.1 point something to 12.0. That means big update. No. Basically, there was a save data backup feature that in some rare cases had some interruptions in communication errors. So they fixed that. That's basically it. However, there was also Oatmeal Dome on Twitter did find out as well that the dock's internal firmware can now be updated with this update. It allowed the dock to also be updated. So I don't really know what that is going to bring to the Switch in the future. Maybe nothing at all. But 12.0 is out, and maybe it fixes some data issues that maybe you have, and maybe we'll get some cool stuff in the firmware for the dock in the future. Who knows?
Since we were talking about April Fools, the best kind of April Fool's joke are those that actually come to fruition, those that are so cool, we would love to see them happen, and then they actually do. And that's something that happened last year. April Fools, Platinum Games announced Soul Cresta, and it seemed like this was a joke, but turns out it's not. It's actually coming with partnership with Hamster Corporation as part of a new Neo Classics arcade series. It is actually a shmup, and it is like a cross between Moon Cresta and Terra Cresta. And no platforms, no info on release date or anything. It's just this. Here's the trailer, but this is legit coming, and I love when a April Fool's joke turns out to be real.
So, any Monster Hunter Rise fans out there, you'll be glad to hear that it has now reached 5 million sales worldwide. So that's only after being out for a little over a week. So that's very good. Congratulations to the team over there at Capcom. And pretty much they just go on to say that there's very strong sales growth and reception has been very positive, and there's lots of new gameplay features and everything that they were touting everything to everybody else. So yeah, if you haven't got a chance to check it out, you can check it out for yourself and add to the sales numbers.
Nice. If you guys remember last year, because E3 did not happen, Jeff Keighley and some friends started up Summer Games, specifically Summer Game Fest, and it's coming back this year. We don't really know a whole lot about it, what's going to happen or anything like that, but Summer Game Fest is officially coming back starting in June, and essentially it's kind of several different things that happen throughout the summer that kind of highlight and showcase different video games throughout the year. So sometimes it's exclusive interviews, sometimes it's some cool gameplay that we've not seen before, sometimes it's just game announcements, companies and stuff coming on. So you can sign up on summergamefest.com for more information.
And we teased about this before, that Animal Crossing was going to come to Build-A-Bear, and they announced yesterday that, hey, we're going to have the announcement officially today, and we're going to find out who they picked. So if you're hoping for your absolute favorite villager to get a Build-A-Bear treatment, or maybe certain Blathers or a Timmy or Tommy, or maybe a Mr. Rossetti, these classic characters, you would be totally out of luck because they only announced two. They announced Tom Nook and Isabelle, which were the two most obvious choices. It's sad that no one else got any love, but they are apparently, I don't know if they already sold out and they might be coming back, or they just haven't gone up for sale yet, but they are the bundle for the Animal Crossing New Horizons Tom Nook or Isabelle with the summer gift bundle with theme music is $51, or you can get it instead of theme music, you can get them with phrases, and that is also $51.
And this last headline is directed primarily at Hassan for our Fortnite fans out there. So beginning on March 30th, there was going to be an update to increase the player experience. And I know that sounds like the normal hodgepodge that you hear when they normally update it, but no, they actually gave us some details on that. So what does this mean? The update will provide significantly improved resolution in both handheld and dock modes. So Steve's showing the article on screen that shows like the handheld mode was going from 1000 by 560 all the way up to 1170 by 660, and then docked went from 1390 by 780 to 1560 by 880. So that's a 38% increase in pixels in handheld mode. And then they even did a few screenshots to compare what that used to look like and what it will look like. So any Fortnite fans, be sure to check out this latest update and resume playing on Switch.
Cool. Before we move on, any thoughts about any of those stories, Barry? Anything stand out that you want to talk about or share any thoughts about before we move on?
I'm happy to see Summer Game Fest return. I didn't really pay attention to it last year. I think it was too many small little events, and I like everything like in one event that I could watch, like a direct or something like that. So I'm just happy it's still going on. It seems like Summer Game Fest, like the New Games Plus Expo and stuff like that stepped in when E3 was gone, and now with E3 back, that's not stopping these companies or these groups to still putting on game shows. Summer Game Fest is coming back. New Games Plus Expo aired, a few weeks ago, and I love that because it's just more video game news. That means there's enough games out there to talk about, because you can't have a show if you're just going to say like we have 2 games. Yeah, you might as well just announce it as just a trailer of Shadow Drop, like Pac-Man 99. I'm happy again about Soul Cresta. I love April Fool's jokes that come to fruition. I downloaded the new system update on Switch. Nothing really happened, and you know what? I did not get into Monster Hunter Rise. I know a lot of people love it. I'm so happy for those people, and they're having fun. And this is a big thing for Switch. It's a big thing for Nintendo, and I hope they capitalize on it.
Yeah. Greg, any thoughts about any of this?
Yeah, the Build-A-Bear one seems kind of random, but I'm kind of like what you were saying. I'm surprised there's not a few more characters like KK Slider and some other big ones like Gulliver and I don't know, just some of the other ones that seem to show up a lot more. But I don't know. I mean, Isabelle and Tom Nook is usually the place to start. I mean, those are the ones that are in Smash Brothers. So got to strike the iron while it's hot there, I guess.
That's true.
Be interesting to see if they do any other promotions with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it would be.
I'm sure this is the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just like the Mario Lego. It's like, oh, here's just a few packs, and then like, oh, here comes the big stuff. Like,
Right. Yeah, I think I said in the chat as well, but I would love to get a KK Slider. That's the one that would send me over and actually make me order a Build-A-Bear for KK Slider. So hopefully that eventually comes out. I think it's cool that Fortnite got an update. If I'm gonna play Fortnite, I'm gonna play probably on Xbox instead. But I didn't realize how bad the resolution was to start with. And so that was actually the big thing that I took from that announcement was like, that's cool that it's better now, but that was not the greatest to start with. Just really more than anything else disappointed in the this update for Switch. I don't know. I don't understand their whole numbering scheme sequence, whatever. Like, this is not a big update. Why did you jump from 11.1 or whatever all the way to 12 just for fixing bad, save data? Like that doesn't, match up well at all. I don't know what's going to happen from this dock thing. Like, you can update the firmware of the dock. That seems interesting. I'm guessing nothing's going to happen from it at all. But it would be cool if they could somehow tweak it and make docked games even better and be able to boost some performance in some way. I don't know how. But that's, I guess, kind of cool that there maybe is a possibility there. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised by that numbering thing too. Like, I was watching the Nintendo Life video, and it was just like, we'll just randomly throw out an update, like make it a major number, and there's nothing really included in here, really. So I don't know. That's kind of mind-boggling. They couldn't give us other quality of life updates. I mean, people have been asking for folders and more themes and that kind of stuff. Even that would have been fine, just to have something smaller in there along with all those save data fixes and stuff. So that at least warrant like a major update. But I don't know, they do them and watch like update like 12.0.3 have like all the new folders or something.
Right.
So and just an added little extra headline kind of deal. We talked about Balan Wonderworld before many a times since. So apparently,
Jakester's favorite game.
Yeah, it's Jakester's favorite game. So apparently, it has come out that it sold poorly worldwide. Big surprise. Last week's Japanese charts revealed that the physical copy of the game didn't even manage to break the top 30 in its opening week, and it reportedly sold fewer than 2,100 copies. And apparently, in Japan, and similar story elsewhere. That's terrible.
Wow.
For a Square Enix title and Yuji Naka, that is just terrible. So who knows what the story is with this game going forward.
Wow. Well, that's kind of surprising too to hear that it's like also like like some of those games just I guess like all of the demo and reviews I guess just totally killed the momentum for it because
There was no review copy sent out.
oh that's true. So
There were no reviews
wow,
on day one.
that's something. Wow. Jakester said in the chat, yeah, his absolutely favorite game of 2021. It might make our list at the end of the year. Maybe not for the best of the year, but
Maybe not.
although I'm not going to buy it just to see. I'll have to try out the demo. But I'm not
You have to try out the
I'm
demo.
not
It should be
going
a
to
requirement.
buy the game just to have it on my worst of the year list.
Just out of curiosity, you got to try the demo.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh man.
If that's even still up.
So before we get into talking about what's going to come out for the next week and what we're going to be playing over this next week, just want to remind you guys, if you have not hit that subscribe button here on YouTube or on your favorite podcast app, make sure you do that. Share it with other people. If you are here on YouTube, make sure that you hit that like button and also the bell so you can be alerted every time we post a new video, every time we go live. And Hassan just joined the chat. Hassan, we just talked about Fortnite just a bit ago. So that was for you. Shout out to Hassan, our original podcast host and the guy that started this whole thing. Good to see you in the chat, Hassan. But yeah, if you guys have not followed us on social media, please do that at NintendoFuse on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. And also be sure to join our Discord if you have not done so yet. It's a great way to just join this growing community here at NintendoFuse and be able to chat about games and so much more in between the episodes. We absolutely love just chatting with you guys and hearing what's going on. So all those links are going to be in the show notes, also in the YouTube description as well. So make sure you check that out. All right, so over this next week, there's a game coming out, Barry. I think it's called Trails of Cold Steel 4. Have you heard of that game?
It came out today.
It came out today.
Actually.
It's a brand new release, and also Island. I took note. Was also coming out. But yeah, there's a few other games that are going to be coming out. It's a couple that grab my attention for some different weird ways. I don't know how we can have a game called Delicious Pretty Girls in our world today. That kind of seems weird. But Delicious Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire is coming out in a couple days. And then a couple other games that kind of I saw that was interesting. A game called What the Dub also comes out that day. You can dub over movie scenes, but you type in your dubbed phrase, and it's like a computer voice that dubs it over the scene, and like people will vote on which one they think is the best. There's also a game called Say No More, and they call it an NPG. It's a role playing game, a no playing game. So you just say no, apparently, in a world that is saying to say yes. I don't understand some of these games. I think it's cool that some of these games are coming out because it's stretching what video games are and kind of taking them in different directions and all that stuff. But some of these games I don't quite understand. But we're getting .cat. So that's cool. And if you're up for really cheap games, Tori 3D is only 99 cents. That's coming out on April 9th. So I know some of these games you guys are really excited about, especially so much more than Trails of Cold Steel 4. I mean, Barry, like I know Hike, you're so much more excited about that, and Candy Match Kitties. But are you getting time to actually play Trails of Cold Steel with all these other games coming out?
The good news for me is I've already played Trails of Cold Steel, so I'm good on there. But I do implore everybody to play that game because it is amazing. But at least play the third one first. Absolutely must play games. I as for like the list, there's some good stuff. Poison Control's coming out. That's another NIS. House in Fata Morgana is apparently a very good visual novel that I probably will be playing when the physical from Limited Run shows up. But yeah, it's definitely a better week than the last week. But my main goal is I'm gonna finish Tokyo Xanadu, and then after that, who knows? I might start another marathon, or actually, yeah, I might do something because next week is a Final Fantasy 14 update. So I don't want to get be too involved in something, so I can enjoy that content and give some love to that game because yeah, otherwise, delicious Pretty Girls Mahjong Solitaire might get me. I don't know. It could be a really fun game.
I will say Cozy Grove also kind of looks interesting as well.
Legends of Talia Arcadia looks interesting until I saw the $2.99 price, and like the artwork looks fantastic.
Right.
And I'm like, at $2.99, this is probably not going to be fantastic.
Right. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, what does that do? Like, I feel that same way too. There's a lot of games that I see, they're like, oh, that seems kind of cool, and then the price is like, oh, only $3, and it's probably not going to be that good. It may be fantastic. They just may have, really knocked down the price really low, but I feel the same way sometimes. Greg, what do you look forward to playing over this next week? Is it going to be a little don't say no or what the dub?
Oh, you know it now. No, it's probably just me more Bowser's Fury and getting that wrapped up and probably jumping back into Animal Crossing and Pokemon Sword most likely. I was kind of surprised that like there's that game for 99 cents. I thought there was that thing Nintendo didn't want games under $2.99 or $1.99. I know we had like a headline or something we reported on it previously, so I was just like, wait a minute, I thought they weren't allowing games less than like $1.99 or something.
Right. My guess is that it's they got it in before that change took place. I don't know like when that cutoff was, but they may have already assigned it a release day and price, and then and maybe it was already in place before they made that change, but I don't know for sure.
Because I almost thought they were gonna like force like all games like to update the price to be at least that minimum value too, but I don't know. It could only be for until they do update it, I guess. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Looking at the chat, looks like Jakester said that it's Astro Aqua Kitty sounds interesting. I agree. Is that in a series? Because I feel like there's Astro Kitty or Aqua Kitty. Okay.
No, Aqua Kitty.
Yeah. And I
have
one of those games.
Game, and apparently it is a visual novel. It came out in like 2017. It was on Steam. It got like a 7 out of 10 from people that are saying it. And the artwork looks fantastic. So, you never know. $2.99, maybe it's worth it.
Nice. I do so. It kind of seems like there's more and more of those less than like subpar mobile games that are making their way over to Switch here recently. Kind of seems like almost like it was in the day of the Wii, like lots of shovelware that's kind of making its way onto the Switch here recently. Not necessarily in physical form, but the eShop is kind of getting overwhelmed by some of that. There's some gems in the middle of all that, but similar to the Wii, you had to kind of make your way through a lot of the junk to find the really good ones. And luckily for Barry, not all of them are coming to physical because you'd have to buy them all.
There's still plenty that make it to physical, let me tell you.
Yeah, I mean, Barry could be under contract to be getting that Kitty or whatever onto.
That's right. Get .cat on your publishing list.
I mean, we could definitely reach out, but I don't know if it's necessarily a game worth it.
It actually does look kind of interesting, but yeah, you be a cute kitten. That's some quality description of a game right there. Two sentences. Your tagline is "Be you a cute kitten." That sells it. Why aren't you just handing over your $9.99 right now?
Not even proper English. Be you a cute kitten? Oh my god.
But you got to avoid obstacles and beat enemies looking for the end of each stage.
Sounds like every other 2D platforming game.
Well, if you played .cat over this next week, please report back. We'd love to know what your experience is like with .cat.
But Barry, this says it's an adventure game, so you gotta still go on an adventure as the cat.
That's right, to get to
Yeah.
the end of the stage.
It might just
Yes,
not be
you
as
gotta-
simple as just running to the right and there's the end of the stage.
Oh, there's ups and downs. I could definitely see some vertical scrolling there, but it's still a 2D platformer.
Yeah. At this point, Tori 3D looks a lot better, and you're only going to spend 99 cents. So, at least it's got a legit description, though. I mean, look at that thing. The fastest bird alive. It's got several features listed out, 9 levels with unique elements, late 90s low poly aesthetic. That's 99 cents. Like, don't spend your money on $9.99 for .cat. Go get low. What's this thing called? Low Tori 3D. That's where you spend your $1 right there. Tori 3D.
So they dropped Toki for this.
The Legend of Talia that actually has a big description.
Ooh, all right.
It does. Yeah, see?
There you go. So if you haven't done so yet, hey, check out Nintendo.com. You're gonna find a bunch of games that are listed over there, and you don't even have to pull open your eShop to see all the games. But there's actually a whole bunch of games that are on sale right now too, that have been like, I feel like they do sales all the time, but there's a lot of games that are on sale. So if you haven't checked out the eShop recently, be sure to do that and hit that sales deals and sales tab or whatever it's called. You know, I actually haven't turned on my Switch in probably over 2 weeks.
Oh my God, Steve.
Hosting a
Bad
Nintendo fan podcast, and I have not even turned on my Switch for a while. Well, I've turned it on, but only to get a couple things in Rocket League and then transfer them over to my Xbox game.
That's Steve.
Yeah.
You gotta change that. This is turning into the Wii U era again for Steve, where he just falls out.
It's basically because all I'm playing is Rocket League here lately. So, and
You
it's
play that on Switch.
far better. Oh,
No one's stopping you from playing on Switch.
I am stopping myself. It's far better on Xbox. Yeah. Hey, we're going to be back on
You don't
April
need fans.
13th with episode 228. We are so grateful for you guys just checking us out. If you haven't done so yet, please just subscribe and share it with other people. Barry, what do you got going on? Any other big podcast, guest starring roles or other games you're releasing over the next week or anything like that?
I will say we're not releasing another game this week or anything like that, but we are in preps to make another big announcement soon. And also, I am possibly going to be joining as a guest for a podcast called Hunting Pixels next week. So I'll see if that plays out, and if that works out, I'll be sharing out the link. But other than that, I'm just gonna be doing work.
Cool. Greg, what are you gonna be up to over the next week? Anything exciting?
No, nothing out of the ordinary. Just will be by continuing on just playing Switch. I have been playing a little bit more in handheld mode over the last few weeks, so there's that. I'm just kind of just playing in bed a little bit and not necessarily always playing quite at the TV every time. So it's interesting to be switching between the two again.
Right. Yeah, I'll be playing some more Rocket League, of course, because April 7th is when season 3 comes out. Probably playing some Spider-Man, hopefully, maybe. I'll turn on the PS4 again, and then also hopefully I do want to get back into Hyrule Warriors: Age of Calamity. So maybe I'll turn the Switch back on, and maybe I'll play around in Animal Crossing and get yelled at by all the villagers that are wondering where I've been over this last month. And hey, I haven't talked to you, I haven't seen you, you don't care about me. But anyway. So like I said, we're going to be back on April 13th with episode 228. If you haven't joined us live, one more encouragement to join us live when we record these podcasts. Tuesday evenings, 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific Time. We'd love to have you jump in the live chat and share all your thoughts about what we talk about. But until that next time we get to chat right here, happy gaming, everybody.
Have a good one.
See you next time.